Welcome to the Seven Figure CEO podcast, where we talk all things marketing strategies, business systems, personal development insights, and conduct interviews with successful CEOs and entrepreneurs. Learn the exact strategies on how seven-figure CEOs market and scale their companies with your host, Chris Rodriguez. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Seven Figure CEO. I am super pumped for our guest today, Mr. Mike Friedman of Champion Karate and Knockout Fitness. And he just earned his 7th degree. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely. So, what a huge accomplishment. I want to know more about this 7th degree black belt. Talk to me how that happened.
Well, it was a big honor. It's a huge surprise for me. I just have a firm belief. You just keep your head down, you just keep working, and and it just through the years, things happen. So yeah, but so it was awesome. It's just still taken back by it. So.
Very cool. Well, tell us a little bit about Champion Karate and Knockout Fitness. You kind of have it a little different kind of model. How'd you get started? Just give us a little history lesson.
Yeah, sure. So, like a lot of other school owners, I got started, in kind of a traditional way. I had a 2,000 square foot facility in a strip mall behind a 7-Eleven, and that was going well. And one day I hooked up with a local dance studio, and this lady was, I would say, kind of my counterpart. So at this point, we've been in business now about 19 years today, but back then, we're both in business about the same amount of time. She had a dance studio that was basically across the street, also in a strip mall, and so her plaza was getting sold, right? And she's like, hey, listen, I've already moved like 3 times, and I'm looking for a place to really, plant my roots for good, And her and I talked about, and I was under the same, I kind of want to do the same thing. I've always thought about, owning my own building, but, never sure how to get started and get it done. So me and her just, we started talking. We said, you know what, let's do it. Didn't know what we were doing. Didn't really have a clue. We just, so we just got a broker and found us land, and we really jumped into it, with both feet in. Like I say, not really knowing what we're doing. It was kind of a funny story because at the time we thought she was able to do a lot of the build out and stuff like that through a relative, but it was going to be the GC, and we're like, okay, cool. Great, and that wound up falling through for some health reasons for that gentleman. So we're kind of on our own. Then we had to go find out all these things on our own and how to get it done. So, at the end of the day, it was awesome. It's great. I'm super glad that we did it. So it's definitely going to be a game changer for us. Basically, we broke ground about 7 years ago. We got our CEO January 2017, and so yeah, it's been great. It's about 1.5 acres of land. We bought the raw land. Yeah, we developed it, and then we went vertical. We built 11,000 square foot building, and then we condoed it out. So we have retail condos. So she owns about 6,000 square foot. I own about 5,000 square foot. Under that 5,000 square foot, I have 2 separate businesses. So I have Knockout Fitness, we have Champion Karate. So, the vision with Knockout Fitness is, I really wanted to go head to head. It's kind of a big vision, but I want to go head to head with 9-round title, any kind of boutique fitness. And so, I kind of built it with that in mind. And so I think it has a really unique kind of setup and business model and culture to it. So.
I love it. Well, one, congrats on the success. I think a lot of school owners, when they start thinking long-term, when they realize this is a marathon and not a sprint, they really start focusing on their, investments. And this sounds like a phenomenal investment that is also housing Champion Karate and Knockout Fitness. So both of these businesses are under the same roof, but you kind of run them completely separately, right? Talk to us a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, they're completely separate. And again, that was something I just kind of jumped into it, and I was a little naive in the beginning. I said, well, the target market, is about the same for kickboxing and martial arts, and it's really not. I found it's completely different. So, the way you market, like our target marketing is different. Of course, we use you guys, and it's awesome. But we have two separate accounts, right? So, we have the way I'm going to market to the kickboxing crowd is completely different than the martial arts crowd. For us, an example, if the kickboxing crowd, the fitness crowd, the marketing is going to be a little more, a little edgy, fun, kind of laid back, kick back kind of stuff. On the martial arts crowd, it's going to be more about, character development and more serious and more, long term and things like that. So, the copy, the creative, reflects that. And so yeah, so that's definitely different. And yeah, but they're completely set up from like separate, tax returns, separate teams I have, separate, like everything's separate, except the only thing that they share is a physical roof. So that's it.
And I think that's really smart, because then you can really, look at the data for what it is in each individual one of those businesses, and then start making data-driven decisions. There's a lot of martial arts schools out there that struggle with the adult market. I'm curious, are you finding that the champion karate, the families that you're bringing in, the kids that are training, are you able to convert those parents into Knockout Fitness, members? And what does that kind of look like if you are able to do that?
Yeah, we do. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but I would say, yeah, there's a good amount of people that do. And when we moved over, that was one of the things I did was I tried to kind of integrate the schedules together. So like my most packed classes around 6 o'clock, and I kind of tried to make it so that, hey, the idea is, a parent could drop off the child, in the martial arts class and then go get a quick workout in. But actually, when we built the building, that was kind of the design, even with the dance studio, and so, hopefully we said, hey, maybe some dance moms can drop off their kids and then go do kickboxing, and, the girl, like the girls or whatever, they can do dance and the boys can come over and do martial arts. So it was kind of this whole kind of integration of that, and that's kind of the idea behind the whole thing we started. Yeah,
I kind of have a similar setup. So right next door to me is a dance studio, and they had been in the building. It's a large flex space. There's 3 suites. The owner is on one end, technology business, the dance studio's in the middle, and then our martial arts school is on the end. And it actually played a role in me choosing that location. We also had an Airheads trampoline arena catty corner to us, which is always great, right? But one of the things that we really wanted to focus on was that B2B relationship with the dance studio, so that, we both could share clients. Now, I know this Knockout Fitness is kind of the newer program. You started with Champion Karate. What does a typical class look like? You said you wanted to go head to head with some of these big names, title 9 rounds.
Yeah.
What does a typical Knockout Fitness, program look like?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So really quickly, when I developed the program, I kind of I went to Orange Theory. I mean, I looked at all the different boutique places out there, right? And actually hired the interior designer who designs a lot of the local Orange Theory. So I said, one of the concepts is I want it to be clean. It's got to be a really nice look to it. So, when you walk in my lobby, it has that same kind of feel as when you walk into an Orange Theory. We have like the black slat wall set up and all that stuff. So it's really nice. But from kind of like the core of it, really what I did was I looked at 3 different concepts. I looked at CrossFit, I looked at Orange Theory, and I looked at title boxing, right? And so one of the things I liked about Orange Theory was the visual, right? Like when you're in there, you see the splat points, it's so engaging and everything. So I did that. I partnered with a company called Impact Wrap, and they're awesome. And basically they allow you to have that same visual, right? Like when you're working out, you'll see points like ratchet up on the TV screen, and the points are comprised of your speed, your power, and your intensity, right? And so there's 1 point value that it kind of ratchets up as you're in the class. but it also then downloads to an app, and there's some, you can really data
So
mine it,
cool.
later on. Yeah, it's really awesome. So that was the first thing like that I really liked about Orange Theory. The other thing I really like too is how they have it split up between power days and they'll have cardio days and hit days. So I kind of do the same thing when I develop the programming. I have hit workouts, cardio workouts, and strength workouts, right? So I did that, and then one of the things I really liked about CrossFit, I did CrossFit for a number of years, and I love like the one of the things I really looked at when I looked at the culture of CrossFit, in my mind, why one of the things that was so successful is because they had these named workouts, right? Like they had like Fran and Helen and Murph and all that. And everyone's trying to like, beat their score, and everyone's comparing and things like this. I said, yeah, it'd be really cool, instead of just coming into a kickboxing class and just running like a workout, if we had named workouts, right? And so we had these named workouts, and then we had the data. Well, now we have something to actually compare. So now we can actually measure our fitness over time. And I was like, that'd be really cool. So that was what I did. So then I developed these. So basically under like a strength workout, we may have like 10 different named workouts, right? And then of course, because it's kickboxing, I like named them after like boxers and kickboxers. So we may have a strength workout called Tyson, or, we may have a cardio workout called McGregor, whatever, but we have like 10 different workouts on each of those different formats, right? So that's how that works. And then, for title, what I really liked was I liked the authentic, boxing gym feel. Like when you walk into a title boxing, you have the rig, you have the, the 100-pound bags, they're there. And so I wanted that as well. So that was what we did. We went out and got, at the time we used Zebra, and we got their rigs. I got 2 rigs, and I got the 100-pound tie bags, and and it works great. So really, that's what really Knockout's about. It's a combination of those 3 things. And of course, we do a lot of the same things as far as building a great community, engagement in our groups and things like that. We do events, we go out, we do team building events, things like that. So, but yeah, I think that's really
what an amazing concept.
Yeah, thanks. I like it. Everyone loves it, so it's going great.
What about any plans to potentially license this out?
Yeah, it's funny you say. I absolutely have plans to open another 2 locations in the next few years. So that's definitely, it's on the table there. Yeah. So because I think we've got it now where it's very, very scalable, right? Like, and that's a great thing I think about kickboxing gyms is that martial arts is at least in my mind it's a little tougher to scale, just because it's involved. But kickboxing is great. I mean, look, you only have like 4 punches and a few kicks, and so once you have everything dialed in, I see it's very easy or easier to scale and to train people and things of that nature. So yeah.
One of the things that can potentially happen with fitness programs, which is really what kind of Knockout Fitness is, right? It's martial arts blended into a fitness workout. Is this terminology has just been used in fitness space of a revolving door, where you kind of, I was actually talking with my personal trainer about this. I meet with her twice a week at 8 a.m. and the girl that normally comes after me stopped coming in. And I was like, hey, what happened to Dawn? And she's like, oh, she decided to go on a break. And we started talking about, the frustrations that she might have as a coach when you kind of pour yourself into people. Are you seeing like a major difference between retention in regards to the martial arts school and Knockout Fitness?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, that's another thing. It's a big difference I see is, in fitness, it's easier really to bring people in, right? It's easier to sign people up, harder to keep them, right? Because a lot of people quit on their fitness goals. But martial arts is definitely like, we see the retention much longer. So yeah, because it's about so much more, so.
Yeah. So speaking of fitness goals, I follow you on Instagram and on Facebook, and, your health seems to be something that you prioritize, right? You're consistently in the gym, you're consistently training. How important is that to you? Because we see a lot of school owners, right? You open a school because you have a passion for training, you have a passion for teaching,
And then the business kind of smacks you right in the face and you have to learn all of this new stuff. And oftentimes our health goes on the back burner. How have you been able to, really grow two separate businesses while also still prioritizing your health?
Yeah. So that happened to me, so I've been in this now 19 years and I'm 52 years old. And so I can tell you that, and it is tough. And what I found is, though, I do it every single day. Like, it's 7 days a week. I don't take any days off. And I found that is just like the best way for me. And so I have a little routine that I do. And my routine is basically, I like to get there really early, like super early. Like I like to get to the gym between 5 and 6. And so I knock out the workout, and then like that's my time. You know what I mean? Like that's my time.
Sure.
The rest of the day is dedicated to my teams, all the students, the member, like everybody else gets all that. But I just need that little time for myself. And what I found is it's not even really so much about like being in great shape anymore, but it's just about like establishing like that routine where like I'm sharper, my clarity is better, my motivation. It just helps me like 10 different ways. So I found if I miss one, I'm just not as I'm just off. It's just not as good. So that's the main reason.
Yeah, very similar experiences. So I joined actually an F45 gym about 8 months ago, and very similar to Orange Theory. They have that gamification aspect of it, right, where you can see your points, and I truly believe that is a very powerful concept that you're utilizing in Knockout Fitness. But for me, I'm kind of an all or nothing person. So it's got to be 7 days a week. And what I always went into it was about the aesthetics, right? Like, oh, I'm working out for what I look like. But what I realized is I was working out for the mental game, for the mindset aspect of it, for, like you said, the clarity. And the body aesthetics is just the cherry on top. That's what happens afterwards. So I love that you shared that, and that you were also honest that, listen, you've been doing this for a while, and there has been times where the health has gotten put to the back burner. Same for me. But I just feel really inspired when I see entrepreneurs and business owners prioritize their health, because it is so easy to only prioritize the business. There's always work to be done, and there's always kind of excuse that is just lingering, like, oh, I'll do it later. So
and that's how I start every single day out like that, with some type of exercise. And sometimes it's not always like I'm not crushing it. Some days it's just, hey, I'm just going to show up. And then you know how that is. Usually if you show up, you always give a little more. It's hard to but that's the idea. It's just to show up, and it's just so much better. So
I love it. Yeah. So you had mentioned earlier that, we work together. You're a Grow Pro client. You've been with us for years now. I'm always a fan of digital marketing and social media marketing. But are there other marketing initiatives that you guys focus on besides just the paid online ads?
Well, and by the way, before I answer that, I want to thank you. I just got your package in the mail. I got your chocolate covered strawberries. And they're awesome. Thank you. That was funny.
It's kind of healthy, right?
Yeah. That was just the timing. Yeah, I just got those yesterday.
Awesome. I'm glad.
You. I threw down about 3 of those last night when I got them too. So,
love it.
But anyway, there are. I mean, I would say for us that definitely like social media is like the big driver, and even like online. Like we get about right now for the martial arts side, we do about 80 leads a month. On the kickboxing side, we do a little more. We do about 110, 120 leads a month. I would say, but both those, it's probably split about 25% are organic on both sides. So that's pretty consistent. But so that's really most of it. Now, it's funny you say that, because one of our big really initiatives this year is, we want to do more grassroots marketing, right? We want to get back out into community. We want to go to some of these, these more well-attended events that the city puts on. So we've got 3 of those scheduled. We've got 1 in the second quarter. We've got 2 in the fourth quarter scheduled. So we're excited about that. And then we definitely want to really get back. We want to integrate more with the schools again, get back in, be business partners with the schools, get into doing
partners in education.
Yeah, so that's huge for us. So but yeah, so that's on the agenda for this year.
And what about referrals? Do you guys have a referral program, like an internal referral program? Do you do well with referrals? What does that look like?
It's super organic, and yeah, that's another thing that we really want to systemize that a little better. Probably like at the time of enrollments and stuff, but the way we've been doing it is like right now, when somebody like posts, like we just had one last night, we had a parent just post something really nice just right out of the blue, and then we'll contact them and say, hey, that was so awesome, thank you so much, would you mind just posting this online? It really helps our page rank, and it really helps other people that are maybe on the fence at martial arts training. It really help them if you wouldn't mind. And we just shoot them over the link, and they'll do that. But yeah, we definitely want to get a little more systemized with that too. Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing, and not this doesn't happen for everybody, right? We might have some listeners, Mike saying that 80 leads for martial arts, 100 plus for kickboxing. Some people's jaws might drop because not everybody gets those types of numbers. And if you are getting 80 plus leads, 100 plus leads, that's a lot. That's a lot of leads to follow up with.
It is,
the one thing that I will say is that, unfortunately, we don't own those platforms, right? We don't own Facebook, we don't own Google, and they could decide at any moment, or it could just be down for a day, right? There was like 2 months ago, yeah. Facebook was down for a day. All your ads get shut off. So, that, yeah. Really, it's amazing that you're seeing such great success on the digital side, but you're being really smart and proactive to make sure that that grassroots marketing is also being focused on, because we just don't want to have all of our eggs in one basket.
Right, exactly.
Cool. That's well, 19 years in the industry. I know you have some wisdom out there. So if you were to kind of start all over again, what is one thing that you would have done differently?
Well, one of the things that we're doing now that I've been really working on, I'd say over the past 5 years or so, is really just putting more into my team and making things more about systems and less about me, So that's probably the biggest thing, in the beginning, I guess like most school owners, you're trying to do everything yourself. And then throughout the years, I started saying, hey, you know what, I need to, I need to be able to step out a little bit, not for the purposes of, just not wanting to do it, but for longevity, as I started really looking at it, and now where I'm so dedicated to, the people working with me and their careers and the things that, I promised them and the things I promised, our members and students. And the only way that we could possibly deliver on that at scale is I can't do it all myself, and so it really becomes, you start to realize it becomes really a thing of necessity that you acquire the skills to be able to, get people where they need to be, motivate them, inspire them, and get it done. So that would be my biggest, if I could do it all over again. I know if I had been there 10, 15 years ago, I know I'd be in a different place today, but yeah, it's all good. So.
Was that difficult for you, kind of letting go and letting other people step in that limelight and, just you not being the one that does everything? I know for some school owners that transition is difficult. How was that for you?
It was hard. And and the reason why I think it was so hard for me was because I just didn't have the skill to be able to, I didn't know how to do it. So I had to acquire those things, and I'm still, we're always, everybody, I'm still a work in progress, and our businesses, my business is a work in progress. I am. So just getting better all the time. But I think that was the biggest thing, was just, not knowing where to start, and, just acquiring that stuff, and it just took a while. And but yeah, we're on a great path. One of the things we did was, as you probably know, I'm a member of the CMA group, and it's awesome. Mr. Metzger and Mr. Tasso is my coach for so long. He's been so great. And that's just be able to hook up with that organization and be a part of that family has been great. Our revenue, from last year to this year, I mean, we're up 60%. And so we're just,
Amazing.
and that just allowed, yeah, it's just awesome. That just allows us to provide more opportunities to our team. So it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's kind of interesting is that, I mean, you have a school that's kind of close to some of the locations of, right, the other CMA schools. And, I think that really shows that, like, there's enough fish out there. There's plenty of people out there for all of us. You don't need to be, worst enemies with your competitors. You can actually, learn from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing that I personally feel, even with sports, I know some school owners, there's always been a thing, hey, the enemy is, soccer, the extracurricular activities. And, I personally don't take that approach. I want to hook up with the coaches. I want to integrate, I want to tell them, hey, we're like, for 100%, your son or daughter, they're going to be a better team player. They're going to be better at soccer. They're going to be a better football player. Here's how it's going to help them. It's going to help them in their focus. They'll be able to take directions from a coach fairly. It's going to help them in their lateral movement. It's going to help them in their flexibility. You know what I mean? So, I like to, definitely say that, hey, there's, whether it's another school owner or a sport or a coach, let's all work together. People need help. So.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up here, any additional nuggets of wisdom or insight that you'd like to share with other martial arts schools? Whether the advice is to somebody just getting started, somebody that's getting ready to scale, just any additional nuggets of wisdom that you want to share with our audience.
I would just say, and this, whether you're starting or whether you're, at a different level, I mean, just always be learning. I mean, I just think it's such a universal, right? I mean, we always have to be, trying to get better, and, not make it about us, but it's just really about, how fast can we get better? It's all about getting better quicker. So
being a lifelong student. And, we want our students to be that way. And we've got to be that way, not only just on the training floor, but as businessmen and businesswomen. Mike, this was awesome. I'm so glad I got to hear about
thank you,
your
Chris.
story.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is great.
Yeah, I had no idea that you bought a building. I mean, how cool is that? And being able to sync up, what a great story. And I really think you're onto something with Knockout Fitness. And I would love to see this potentially in the future packaged, for something that other school owners are looking to really level up their adult programs, because I know for a lot of schools that's difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
well, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Yeah. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Perfect. All right. So I'm serious about this licensing thing. I really think, man, like, I loved how you broke it down, like with the different concepts, right? Like the gamification aspect, the naming the workout aspect, and then having that, like feel of like the boxing gym. I think you're onto something, man. It'd be really cool to, it's funny. So I had a fitness kickboxing program probably back in 2016, 2017. And at the height, we would have 40 to 50 people in the class. I mean, it was, a rockin' really awesome class. And I had gone to an Orange Theory fitness place, and I was, just enamored with the heart rate, right? And back then you could only have the heart rate strap on. And I was like, I've got to figure out how to bring this into my fitness kickboxing program. So I went online and I went on Alibaba.com, which, foreign website where you can purchase, massive amounts of things for very, very cheap. Well, they had heart rate monitors, and it claimed that it came with an app as well. So I was like, done. So I ended up buying like 300 of these heart rate monitors.
Oh my God.
It comes in. It took us months just to figure out the app, because everything was in Chinese because it's from Alibaba.
Yeah.
And finally got it up and running, and it would work, but it would work for like 20 minutes. And then whatever your heart rate was, what was going up on the TV was not accurate. Right. There was like a lag, and it was like a 5-minute lag. It's like, you can't have a 5-minute lag.
Yeah.
And I just kicked myself in the ass, because I literally still have 300 heart rate monitors just sitting in a freaking storage bin
so you want to hear
storage unit.
So I have a similar, but not to that degree, but another funny story. So there was a like before this equipment came out, there was another one that was from they just changed it. All right, you know Fight Camp? It's on you see it on Facebook, you can order the bag and stuff like that. Well, anyway, so they changed the name of that company. I forget now the name of the company, but it was basically the company that, when you look at Fight Camp, it's all, they have like a sensor and you put it in the glove, right? And that's what gives you all the numbers and stuff, right? So before it was Fight Camp, they just gave you, like, you could buy like the sensor, and they were selling to gyms and stuff. So I was one of the pilots. There was South Beach Boxing, there was me, and there was like 8 other pilot locations all over the country. So it's fine. I still have some of the prototype. I still have the prototype, but anyway, so you get this thing and you put it in there, and it was working pretty good, right? But the thing about it was, what I didn't like about it was, like, the people would have to come in and buy these things. They weren't cheap, and you'd have to like put it on your hand. You have to wrap and then put the glove over the wrap. I'm like, damn, this is going to take a long time. And then I met actually Dan Friedman, who owns Impact Wrap. I met him at I met him at a convention, one of Michael Perella's conventions, way back a long time ago. And he was just getting his company started, and I looked at this and I said, that's it.
That's it.
I was like, that's where I need it. That's where I need it. I said, where are you? Like, how many gyms are you in? And he said, just one. And there was a karate school he was at in New Jersey, I think. New Jersey, Pennsylvania, wherever it was. I said, well, I'm going to be your guy in Florida. And I was his first one. And now he's he's international. He's all over. But
that's amazing.
Really well. So yeah.
So the sensor is it like sewed into the wrap? So all you have to do is just put your
so now
the wrap on.
It's completely different. It's literally it has a accelerometer. It's like a box, and it's on the bag. You just strap it on the bag. So you put on the bag and you Velcro it on the top of the bag, and it's basically every time you hit the bag, it's just reading the impact. You know what I mean?
That's so cool.
And it's some algorithm which tells them, what the speed, the volume, the power, so it's
and then you're not reliant on the client having to buy it, because it's just going on the bag.
Yep, it's right on the bag. That's what I loved about it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I would love for you to come over and check out the gym so I could show it to you.
Yeah, I would love it if I'm in the area, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. So that'd be awesome. Yeah.
All right, Mike. Have a great day. Thanks so much.
You too. Take care. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.